Good morning. My name is Kaylee Frieden, and today I'm going to be talking about psychopaths, sociopaths, antisocial personality disorder, and why being evil is not a mental illness. Have any of you listeners ever called someone a psychopath or a sociopath? My guess is yes. Do any of you guys actually know what that means? My guess is no. Many people around the world have the tendency to call someone who does evil or malicious actions a psychopath or a sociopath when they are real life problems that millions of people around the world are actually dealing with. And this could be a problem in many ways because you can't justify someone's evil actions by telling them that they have a mental health disorder. I'm going to get further into this, but first let us start off with what these disorders actually are, because people tend to mistake these illnesses as the same disorders. And although they are similar in many ways, they have different personality traits that differentiate them from each other. Personality disorders are inflexible, enduring behavior patterns that impair social functioning. Someone who is considered a psychopath has no inner sense of right or wrong, no empathy, and no conscience. They do what they want when they want, and they show no remorse for their actions. Someone who is considered a sociopath has a very poor inner sense of right or wrong, has the ability to show some empathy, but yet they still manipulate and lie to get what they want. Antisocial Personality Disorder, also known as ASPD, is a mental health disorder characterized by disregard for other people, and it is mostly shown in men. A doctor cannot officially diagnose someone as a psychopath or sociopath, but they can diagnose someone with antisocial personality disorder. Research on epigenetics showed that antisocial personality disorder may be caused by genes, life situations, or changes in how the brain functions during development. People are also at a higher risk of developing ASPD if they were ever diagnosed with a childhood conduct disorder, have a family history of personality disorders, were abused or neglected during their childhood years, or had an unstable, violent, or chaotic life during childhood. In movies and TV shows, psychopaths and sociopaths are usually portrayed as being the evil people or the villains who torture and kill innocent people for their own convenience and their own entertainment. And although in real life, some people suffering from antisocial personality disorder may be violent or reckless, most are not. Instead, they usually use lies and manipulation to get what they want. There are many examples of people suffering from these disorders within television series. For example, Kai Parker from the CW show The Vampire Diaries. Kai is a sociopath who manipulates and hurts people to get what he wanted. Kai had a rough childhood, which could have caused him to become a sociopath. He was neglected and abused for being different from his siblings. Kai often used violent and malicious actions to get what he wanted, but he would also have the ability to show empathy sometimes. Another example of a sociopath is Don Draper from AMC's TV show Mad Men. Don Draper had a troubled childhood which could have caused his callous actions, like, for example, always cheating on his wife. People often just assume that all sociopaths enjoy killing and hurting people, but Don Draper is an example of a sociopath who shows remorse and shows care for some people. It is also very common for people who suffer from forms of antisocial personality disorder to have other psychotic disorders. One disorder that some may suffer from with ASPD is obsessive compulsive disorder, also known as OCD. They tend to obsess over things and do what they want to get what they want and to get the thing that they obsess over. Some people may ask, can a psychopath have bipolar disorder? Researchers have said that it is common for people suffering from bipolar disorder to show psychotic traits and go into mania episodes, but it is rare for someone with 100% psychopathy to show traits of bipolar disorder. If people with other psychological disorders also suffer from antisocial personality disorder, it can become very dangerous. For example, schizophrenics who also suffer from ASPD may make irrational, crazy, dangerous decisions while they see their hallucinations, and they will not care or know if they hurt someone. Some researchers have tied together that post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety disorders can lead to antisocial personality disorder, but that is still no excuse for evil behavior. A mental illness is supposed to be something that one suffers and deals with on their own. They find ways to struggle and cope with it by themselves. It is not something that brings other people down around that person, and is definitely not something that physically harms someone or causes crimes. The media and people need to be careful to not correspond evil actions with mental illness. It is not fair to the millions of people that are struggling with mental illness and the millions of people that are trying to help and better themselves. Someone can be evil without being mentally ill. When people justify others' evil actions, it makes it okay to do in that person's messed up mind and also justifies it in our legal system and our government. So next time that you're going to say that you or others are a psychopath or a sociopath, take a minute to really stop and think about the millions of people that are suffering from these disorders and antisocial personality disorder and how hard it must be for them. Also think about how you are excusing someone's bad actions by calling them a psychopath or a sociopath, when having these disorders are really no excuse for evil behavior. Thank you. Have listeners ever called someone a psychopath or a sociopath? My guess is yes.